Hey, welcome to Metaflist, or the game that I've been obsessed with for the last couple of months. I found it while doing memory card icon research for memcard.art, and I've been distracted by it for the last couple of months. I ended up importing a physical copy. I scanned and translated the manual, trying to make sense of everything I can about this super obscure Japanese-exclusive game from 1997. It's the studio's first and only game. So it's the videos that are out there are underwhelming, to say the least. There are plenty of long plays and complete playthroughs, as they're listed. There's more to this game than you'd expect when you just turn it on. Let me give you the real quick pitch. It's a top-down shooter that's on 2 discs, and it supports the mouse. All 3 of those things were just too interesting for me to just load the game up and get a save and get the icon and move on. So that's how I fell down this Metaflist-shaped rabbit hole. But this last week, I was just on Darren Hupke's Pixels and Polygons podcast, and of course I talked about the game. And as I was explaining things, he went to look for clips of it, and my biggest complaint about this game is that all the videos that are online of the game don't use the mouse. And I think that's really the key thing about playing this game, even if you don't play it all the way through. Like, just loading it up long enough to feel the mouse and controller combo is a unique experience that I haven't ever had with another game. And so I was talking on his podcast about that, and a little ahead of the podcast coming out, I wanted to get some video of my own of the game up here, so that if you listen to this Pixels and Polygons podcast and went to look for the game, you might be able to find this video instead of the other unimpressive, or I guess other videos that don't show the game off in the best way possible. The way I think is the best way possible to see it. So let me set the mouse up again so I can switch back over here. This is an emulator. Let's see. How about scene 2? All right, so you can see the game's loaded up. I have a direct control of the cursor. Otherwise, if I was using the D-pad, you'd be moving like this. And it's really cool that the game can go back and forth between controller control and mouse control, without having to restart the game and unplug. Like, it just knows which one you're using at any moment. So we're here on the map screen in the game. I won't explain a whole lot about this. I just want to get to the gameplay, which I know I'm already delaying a bunch. So let's just pick a stage. This is later on in the game. And so if you're just playing with the controller, you move your ship, you fire your guns, and you use L1 and R1 to kind of arc the reticle around your ship. And you can hit both of them to snap it back to center. And it's fine. You got guns, you got lasers. The laser is more powered up in my game than anything else. You also have missiles, but you have to paint the target to hit anybody. And so that gets a little problematic when the reticule is attached to your ship. So if you just grab the mouse, now you're detached. And so you can start moving around the screen with the mouse, trying to avoid fire, and painting targets that are on the opposite side of the screen. I'm going to do very poorly here. Yeah, so I think you can kind of immediately see the difference in playstyle, even though I'm doing terrible at dodging fire. I also think playing the game on Expert is the way to go, because it does this twisting thing. So we're now flying, like, they've rotated the screen 45 degrees, and now the screen's rotating 45 degrees the other direction, which also changes how you control the game, which is a funky challenge. I think it's an acceptable thing. Okay, we just killed that boss. I think it's an acceptable, like, a lot of Japanese reviews and videos kind of complain about it. It does make it harder to move your ship when it is in motion. But I think it's worth it because you have this unique ability to aim at things wherever on the screen while you're moving your ship around. And so it does make it a little bit easier when you're, focused and not just taking every hit possible. So I think the extra twist, literally the twist in the controls. Rewind, guys. The extra twist in the gameplay is worth it. Worth putting up with. Well, I guess I'll explain a little bit more. When you come back from every mission, it shows you how much you moved the front line. It's that yellowish wave in the background we'll see in a second. How much you moved it towards 100%, which is defeating the enemy, or 0%, which is the enemy pushing you all the way back. So each stage you need to destroy a certain number of enemies to fill the bar up in the top right of the screen, which I didn't point out, in order to either move the bar one way or the other. Every time you, based on the number of enemies you kill, your shield maximum goes up, and finishing a stage refills a little bit of your shield. So right now, we'd start the next stage with a little over half health. Same with the weapons. As you use them, they level up. So my laser is apparently at level 38, and it has 373,000 experience points. So it's the Skyrim, the Bethesda model. Like, you use the laser, and the laser levels up. You use the missile, and the missile levels up. The strength is how long you can sustain full shot firing powers. The missile only starts really high. The laser's leveled up a little bit, but it still drains quicker than the ballistic kind of shot, the regular shot mode. I don't know what these numbers mean over here. They change every time, and I still haven't figured it out. Anyways, so this is the front line of the war. So you can pick whichever stage you want to go to. The objective up here is the only Japanese in the game. Unfortunately, this is the text that tells you where you should go next in order to keep this bar, the wave, moving this direction instead of going this direction. So a lot of people misinterpret what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go. The idea of the game is also that you are revisiting these stages over and over again as they tell you, now you want to go over here. Now you want to go over here. And in the beginning, you can't go up here you can't go to these three until you've filled up the bar. Like, you're pushing this wave closer and closer, which is unlocking more planets for you to go to. So anyways, let's go look at another one, because Diasima was just a bunch of red. Let's see if we get underwater here. No, we get the other one. So now you can see up in the top right our hit meter. We need to keep that in the blue by the end of this level in order to get a win and move the front line closer to 100%. I don't think it's possible. Oh, wow, they put two of them together. Wow. There are also a lot of randomized patterns to these ships. They're not that creative. They're not like that unique or well-designed, I'd even say, but there are, there's a lot of randomness in which wave of enemies you get from moment to moment. You really can't appreciate it unless you're playing on an emulator and you can instantly save and load states. But if I were to save a state right now, well, we're gonna avoid that power up for a minute. If I were to save a state right now and reload, that enemy may not have just come out. It's not a great example. I don't know where those bullets came from. So right now I'm pushing left to kind of move to the upper left corner of the screen, and I'm getting roasted by these ships that are kind of hard to see. I'm not trying to say this is a great game that everybody has slept on, you have to have this experience as a shooter. No, I don't think it's that great of a game. I mean, like I said, it was these people's first game. They even say on their website, this is our first game, so please cut us some slack. But I do think the gameplay, a lot of the things about the gameplay are really interesting. Interesting, not stellar. So let's jump into one more, and I'll do the missiles again a little bit. What were we at? 62%? I don't think I did super great. Yeah, so it just kind of stayed even. All right, let's go to Mendel. There we go. Oh yes, you also have these ridiculous power-ups. So when I use this power-up, of course, there's nothing much on the screen right now. So. Let's see. Anyways, if you use a power-up, you get this. Your shots just become gigantic. It basically wipes out everything on the screen, unless there are ground targets. So like a Xevious, you've got ground targets that you can only hit with the missile. So you have to cycle the weapons. For some reason, you can lock on and attack the power-ups. The shot, I haven't leveled up at all, so it's pretty useless, even when powered up. Oh gosh, just fly right through. You can see the downside with the missiles is that it locks on and then it has to like actually fly across the screen and hit things. So some stuff could be off the screen by the time the missiles reach it. You can also Panzer Dragoon style paint over a bunch of targets, which isn't very effective in the end. You really just want the rapid fire missiles going after everything. Oh, I should have put a text thing on the screen, but if you want to see some of the documentation that I'm working on about this game, like, say, a young adult novelization of the story and the cutscenes, you could visit bit.ly/metaflist, which I just realized, saying it out loud is not the best URL because who knows how to spell metaflist. But the things that you can find there include such information as what this name means and why else I like this game, and everything that you could possibly want to know about this game at this point. Let's see. So we got a draw, and that means it's time to end this recording. So thanks for taking a look. Maybe I'll be back with a more scripted, more directed video than this. But for now, I think that's a pretty quick overview of Metaflist. Thanks for taking a look. Let me know what you think. And if you visit the document, yeah, I really check the description. Check down below for the link to all the documentation I'm working on. Thanks.